Chapter 14. The chapter of Abraham containing 50 verses written at Mecca. And of course, Aleph Lam Ra is, that should be left as is. In the name of God, gracious and merciful, Aleph Lam Ra, in that book we have sent it to thee to bring the people out of darkness, to guide them to the light, and the way of thy Lord, always victorious and glorious. Whatsoever is in heaven and in earth is God's misery upon unbelievers. They shall undergo at the end of the world exceeding great torments. They who prefer the wealth of this world to that of heaven, who go astray from the way of the law and would pervert it, are in great error, far from truth. The prophets spake the language of them to whom they were sent to instruct them. God guideth and isn't guiding, whom to him seemeth good. He is omnipotent and prudent. We sent Moses with prodigies to bring the children of Israel out of darkness and to conduct them to light. He taught them the commandments of the law to serve for instruction to such as shall persevere to do well and shall not be ungrateful for the favors they have received. Moses spake to his people and said, remember the grace of God towards you. He delivered you from the men of Pharaoh, who caused you to suffer great afflictions, who murdered your children, abused your wives, and laid upon you great evils, sent to God because of your sins. The Lord hath said, if ye be not ungrateful, I will augment my graces upon you. If ye be impious, you shall be afflicted. Moses said to his people, if you and all men be impious, know that God will always be glorious and hath no need of you. Know ye not what befell before you the people of Noah, Ad, Tamad, and their posterity, that none had knowledge of but God, because of their great number? He sent them his commandments by his prophets. They bit their fingers for anger and said unto them, we renounce and condemn your doctrine. The prophets said unto them, is there any doubt in the belief of the unity of God, creator of heaven and earth? He calleth you to remit your sins and deferreth your punishment until the day appointed. They answered, ye are men like unto us. Will you hinder us to adore the gods of our fathers? Or so they presumed they were. Produce arguments of the strength sufficient to prove what you preach. The prophet replied, we are men as you are, but God giveth his grace to whom seemeth good to him. We are come to you through his permission. The true believers ought to trust in him. Wherefore should we not be resigned to the will of God, who hath guided us into the right way? We will continue in well-doing. The righteous trust in his divine majesty. Then send the misbelievers unto them. We will banish you from our country, if you be not of our religion. But God inspired into them that the misbelievers should perish, and they should inhabit the land after them, and that he would protect such as should have his fear before their eyes, and fear the pains that are prepared for the wicked. And the prophets were protected of God, and the obstinate wicked were destroyed, and they shall be precipitated into hell, and drink of water full of corruption, urine and blood. Death shall appear on all sides before their eyes, before they have swallowed that drink. They shall not die in that misery. They shall suffer yet greater pains. The good works which the wicked have done are like to dust carried away by an impetuous wind. They shall be unprofitable to them, and they shall be extirpated because they depart from the truth. See they not that God hath created heaven and earth so that he can destroy them and create in their place a new people if it seem good to him? And this is not difficult to God, all things are known to him. The more impotent of them that have followed the wicked shall say at the day of judgment, we obeyed you. Will you this day deliver us from the punishment of God? And they shall answer, had God guided us into the right way, we had conducted you thither. We are alike miserable with you. We cry and lament in our misery, but find neither refuge nor protection. The devil shall say unto them, what God hath promised to you is infallible. I foretold it to you. I caused you to transgress his commandments through my temptations. I had none other power over you but to tempt you. You did me no harm. When ye hearkened to me, you drew mischief on yourselves. I am not your tutor, neither are you mine. I was impious when heretofore I suffered you to adore me. Hell is prepared for you and for all unbelievers, all misbelievers. Unbelievers. The actual truth. There shall they endure great torments, and the righteous shall enter into paradise, wherein flow many rivers, wherein they shall dwell eternally, with all manner of blessedness and content. Seest thou not how God speaketh by a parable? A good word is like to a good tree that hath taken root in the earth, and hath raised its branches to heaven, and produceth its fruit in due time. Through the permission of his divine majesty, he teacheth the people his parables. Perhaps they will be mindful. An evil word is like to a bad tree that hath been torn from the earth. There is nothing to sustain it, and it is without root or fruit. God fortifieth the true believers through his word in this world and in the other, and causeth the unjust to err. He doth what to him seemeth good. Seest thou not them that have changed his grace into impiety, and have made such as have followed them to dwell in the house of perdition? They shall abide eternally in the fire of hell. They say that God hath a companion equal to him, and err from the way of his law. Say to them, ye shall have wealth in this world, but hell is your rendezvous. Say to the true believers, who make their prayers at the time appointed, and give alms in private and in public, that the day shall come where they shall neither buy nor sell, and where everyone shall be recompensed for his works. Say unto them, God hath created the earth and the heavens. He maketh the rain to descend from heaven, which causeth to spring forth all sorts of fruits to enrich you. He created the ship that through his permission saileth on the sea. He created the rivers, the sun, and the moon, which move continually. He created the day and the night, and bestoweth on you whatsoever ye desire. His favors towards you, you can neither be numbered nor recounted. Nevertheless, the inhabitants of Mecca are always impious and wicked. Well, they keep being so overall there. Abraham said, Lord, protect this city and make it to be the refuge of the world. Keep me and my children from the worship of idols. They have seduced a part of the people. He that shall follow me and profess thy unity shall be mine. If anyone disobey me, thou art gracious and merciful, Lord. One part of my lineage inhabiteth Mecca. in a place unfruitful. Give them the grace to persevere in thy service. Incline the hearts of men to affect them. Enrich them with the fruits of the earth. Peradventure they will thank thee. Thou knowest whatsoever is in the world. I know it not. Nothing that is in heaven or on earth is hid from thee. Praise be to God, who hath given me Ishmael and Isaac. In mine old age he heareth prayers when it pleaseth him. Lord, give me in my posterity the grace to persevere in well-doing. Hear my prayers. Pardon me and pardon my father and all the true believers at the day of judgment. Think not that God is ignorant of the actions of the misbelievers. He deferreth the punishment of their crimes until the day that all men shall have their eyes open. In that day shall they behold their sins before their eyes, and their hearts shall be full of desolation. If thou preachest to the people the day of judgment, hath God, will the wicked say, preserved us to this present time to do what thou dost appoint us, saying to them, have ye not sworn heretofore that there is no resurrection? Ye have dwelt with the unjust. Ye have seen how they have been chastised, and how we have spoken to you in parables. Certainly they conspire, but God knoweth their conspiracy. Their policies to tempt the prophet, to see if he will make the mountains to move. Think not that God will violate what he hath promised to the prophets. He is omnipotent and avengeful. Consider the day wherein the earth and heavens shall change their face, and all the people shall rise again. In that day shall one sole God, omnipotent, command men to come out of their monuments. Thou shalt that day see the wicked bound in their chains. Their garments shall be full of pitch and Gatran. Their faces shall be covered with fire. That day shall be recompense and chastise everyone according to his works. He is exact to keep account. This book was sent to instruct the people and teach them that there is but one God. The wise will remember. And so we have the story around one prophet, and then we have a chapter with no prophet story, then we have a chapter with a whole series of them. And, they have different effects, of course. This part of the story is told here in correlation with this, that, and the other. One lesson that we have here about the devils, is their power over people is by the people's consent. People are just tempted. The devil didn't make anybody do anything. And that's sort of the point of Ramadan, isn't it? It's to remind you of what you really are. That these temptations stop for a month. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to program yourself towards or unprogram yourself? What's being maintained?